Welcome back to Self with Savannah. I'm so happy you're here with me today, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm really enjoying creating my episodes on YouTube now as well, and I've had some really positive feedback, so I'm really happy that you guys are enjoying it too. Today, I want to talk about something kind of interesting, which is the fear of embarrassment. And the reason why I want to talk about this with you today is because what I realized is that I think a big reason as to why I used to feel a lot of social anxiety was because I had this underlying fear of being embarrassed. And now that I've been able to heal that and overcome that, it's so freeing. It really is mental freedom. And I want every one of you to experience that as well. So I'm excited to share my experiences and my opinions in hopes that it will help you as well. And I think it's especially important to talk about in today's world because with my generation and younger, we've sort of become obsessed with this idea that everything is cringe, that everything is embarrassing. And my question is, when did existing and literally just being a human become embarrassing? When did it become embarrassing to express yourself, to be seen trying, to care about things? I don't think any of that is embarrassing. And when you're living in the mindset of everything is cringe or everything is embarrassing, all it's doing is keeping you caged. It's keeping you small. It's stopping you from being who you genuinely are and living the life that you actually want to live because you're afraid that other people are going to judge you. And I get it. I've been there. Like I said, I had this huge fear that I didn't even realize of being embarrassed, of being scared that other people are going to have opinions about me. And so today I want to help you break free from that cage so that you can start showing up as your genuine self, because that is how you are going to live a life that you genuinely fucking love. And so I want to talk a bit about my experience with social anxiety because it consumed me for the first 20 some years of my life. And now that I'm on the other side of that, I just get to experience life in a whole new, incredible way. Now, this isn't me saying that I absolutely never experience anxiety. Of course I do. I'm human, but it's the minority now instead of the majority. And when I have moments when I'm feeling anxious, it almost surprises me a bit. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Whereas it used to be the opposite. That used to be me all day, every day, full of anxiety, full of stress. And it's not a fun way to live. And so when I think back to when I was living in that anxious state, and let's say I went out somewhere in public, literally anywhere, the grocery store. My mind was so consumed with this belief that everybody was watching me, that everybody was focused on me, that everybody was analyzing me. And not only that, but they were staring directly at my insecurities. It's like your mind is just convincing you that everyone hates you, that everyone thinks you're weird, that they're just obsessing over all of your flaws, when that is just so far from the truth. You are not the main character of everyone else's life the way that your social anxiety is trying to convince you that you are. You are the main character in your life, but everyone else is the main character in their own life. They're living in their own world. They're consumed by their own thoughts, their own insecurities, their own ideas. They're not thinking about you. They're living in their own world. They're not thinking about that moment when you stumbled over your words. They're not thinking about that. They probably didn't even notice in the first place, or they just don't care. But I get it. When you have anxiety, your mind tries to convince you that that tiny little moment when you did stumble over your words or you did say something that felt a bit embarrassing, that everyone else is thinking about it too and they're analyzing it. and they're obsessing over how embarrassing you were and how weird you were in that situation. They are not. I promise you, they are not. That's just your mind. It's your anxiety playing tricks on you. Your thoughts are not facts. You get to choose which thoughts that you believe. And so you can choose to believe the thought or the idea that everything you do is embarrassing, but you can also choose to believe the thought and the idea that it's not, that being who you are is not embarrassing. You get to choose which one you believe. And so, what you can start doing, start practicing, is instead of believing every thought or idea that's negative about you, gently start trying to shift it to the positive thoughts and ideas that you have. Because when I see somebody who is fully themselves and they're not afraid to express that and show that, and they're in their own power and they don't give a shit about what anyone else thinks of them, that is so hot. That is so sexy to be in that energy, to just fully be you. And that is the real goal of life, is to be the most you that you can possibly be and live your life in a way that is in alignment with who you truly are. That is so fucking hot. And so, something that you can start practicing is asking yourself, am I going to allow myself to be embarrassed by that? Like I said, you get to choose that. Embarrassment is something that, whether you consciously realize it or not, you're agreeing to. If something happens where you feel a bit embarrassed, you're agreeing to be embarrassed by that. Embarrassment is a choice at the end of the day. So start practicing not being embarrassed by things. Let yourself do the things that feel socially embarrassing. When you have the urge, the pull to do something, and it feels a little bit socially embarrassing, do it, because that is how you set yourself free. When you allow yourself to do something that you want to do, and yeah, maybe you feel a little bit embarrassed by it, but you choose to do it anyway, you're teaching your nervous system that, okay, yeah, I felt a little bit embarrassed by that, but I'm okay. I survived. I'm still here. And then the more that you choose to continue doing that and just allowing yourself to feel a little bit embarrassed, you're setting yourself free. And over time, as you practice this, it's like you just slowly start losing the trait of being embarrassed. And that is what mental freedom feels like, because you just stop giving a shit about what anyone else thinks about you. And oh my God, it feels so good when you're not being held down or caged by all the outside noise. But you have to choose that. You have to choose to start practicing that and living that way. And so let's say you do feel embarrassed by something. Maybe you said something and you're like, ooh, that was a little bit embarrassing. Instead of beating yourself up over that moment and over analyzing it and hyperfixating on it and telling yourself how bad of a person you are because you said this one thing and tearing yourself down, practice speaking to yourself with kindness and respect and in a loving way. Practice that. It will change your life. So let me go back to that example. Let's say you said something and you're thinking about this moment when you said something a bit embarrassing. You could literally say to yourself, okay, yeah, you know what? I did feel a little bit embarrassed by how I said that. I can't go back and change what I said. It's over with. I did my best that I could in that moment. I'll learn from it. I'll do better next time and I'll move on. Not everybody is thinking about this situation like I am right now. It's okay. I said something embarrassing, and that's okay. It's part of being human. Being human means you're going to make mistakes. It means you're going to stumble over your words. It means you're going to say something that you wish you wouldn't have. Being human means being messy sometimes. And instead of beating yourself up over that, give yourself love and compassion and kindness and grace, the same way that you would to your best friend or someone that you love. Let yourself be human, and being human is not fucking embarrassing. But I'm telling you, when you practice allowing yourself to stop being consumed by this idea and this mindset that everything is cringy, you will set yourself free. I'm telling you. And at the end of the day, someone is always going to have an opinion of you. Someone is always going to have something to say about what you're doing and how you're living your life. Somebody is always going to misunderstand you. And the sooner that you can be okay with that and accept that, the sooner you're going to be able to set yourself free and being who you actually are and live the life that you actually want to live. Let them misunderstand you. Let them not like you. They aren't the ones living your life, you are. So who gives a shit about what Sally says about how you live your life? Why not let them talk about something that you actually want to be doing rather than allowing them or this fear of what they might have to say about you control your life? That's literally what you're doing. You're literally giving your power away to everyone outside of you. You're giving your power and your life away to this fear of being judged. That's not a fun way to live. And trust me, I get it. I used to live my life that way. And it left me feeling really unhappy and really lost and like something was missing because I wasn't allowing myself to live as me and live my life how I wanted to. And so the question becomes, do you want to be judged for being yourself? Or do you want to be invisible while trying to be liked? That's really what it comes down to. You can try to be the most cool and curated and filtered version of you that's trying to be liked by everybody, but that is a really draining way to live. No matter how curated you are, somebody is still going to judge you. Somebody is still going to have an opinion of you. So you might as well just be yourself and let them talk about that. It's not embarrassing to be yourself. It's not embarrassing to be seen trying. It's not embarrassing to go after the life that you want to live unless you choose it to be. And also, something else that I just want to touch a bit on is that most people who spend their time and their energy constantly judging or criticizing or trying to tear other people down are hiding behind that criticism. Judgment is often a defense mechanism, and it's not a truth about you. It's often a projection that they have about themselves, the way that they feel internally. They're probably quite disconnected from themselves. If you're showing up and you're expressing yourself fully and somebody judges that or criticizes that, it's often because it's triggering something from within them that they haven't yet healed or that they actually desire within themselves, but they're not able to express that themselves yet. And so they feel triggered by that. And in order to try and make themselves feel better, they try to tear you down. They try to criticize you, whether they realize that consciously or not. So when other people are judging you and criticizing you, it often doesn't have much of anything to do with you. And it has a heck of a lot more to do with them and how they feel internally. Genuinely happy people who feel good about who they are and who love their lives don't spend their time and their energy trying to bring other people down because they know how precious their own energy and time is. They're not going to waste their time criticizing other people because that is a waste of time. That is a waste of energy. And all you're doing is putting negative energy out into the world. Who wants to do that? Not somebody who feels good internally, not somebody who loves themselves. So, yeah, it's often a reflection of them and how they feel and not about you. And when you can see it that way, it can really help you not internalize it. Having confidence doesn't mean that embarrassment just doesn't exist. It's having the willingness to survive it. I promise you that every person that you look up to has been embarrassed, has been misunderstood, has been not liked by somebody, has been judged by people. And so they could have used all of those things as a reason to stop, or they could take all of those things and show themselves, okay, all of this is happening. I've felt embarrassed and I'm going to keep going anyway. They taught themselves that, okay, yeah, I can feel a bit embarrassed. I can let people judge me. I can let people have opinions about me. I can be misunderstood by people. And when they did that, they stopped giving power to all of those things and they returned the power back into themselves. They built confidence through that. I'll give you a personal example. I remember a few years ago now when I first started my business and I started posting online. I felt terrified. It was scary to be seen as a beginner, and I didn't really know what I was doing back then. And I was afraid that people were going to judge me at the time. I was afraid that people were going to misunderstand me and that people weren't going to like me. But I chose to keep showing up anyway. Every single day, I showed up, even when I had those fears. And over time, what it did is give me so much confidence because I began being okay with the fact that, yeah, people are going to judge me. People are not going to understand me. People are going to have different opinions than me. And that's okay. I was showing my system that it's okay to feel that way. And it literally set me free. I built so much confidence through that. And now I don't care. I literally don't give a shit when people misunderstand me, when people judge me, when people think I'm cringe. That's okay. I'm doing me, and I'm happy doing me, and I'm proud of who I am and how I'm living my life. I don't care what anyone else has to say about that. And you can get to that place too when you allow yourself to feel a bit embarrassed and just keep showing up. The embarrassment is going to lose its power that it's holding over you, and you are going to become so fucking confident and so fucking unstoppable. It's going to be crazy and it's going to be amazing. And you will get to experience genuine mental freedom. That is the goal. It is the goal because it feels so good to not be caged, to not be held down, to not be afraid to take up space and to express who you are. Because if you keep avoiding embarrassment, eventually you're avoiding yourself. Because over time, what you're doing is you're shaping yourself around what you think is acceptable rather than who you are. Because when people have this fear of embarrassment, it stops them from showing up how they want to, from posting the content they want to, from trying new things, from speaking up, from admitting that you care or admitting that you want more. And so you're allowing this fear of embarrassment to run your life. And then the truth of who you are just kind of gets pushed down and pushed down and pushed down because you're trying so hard to be seen as acceptable. Fuck being acceptable. You deserve to show up and take up space for who you actually are. And the last thing I want to say about cringe culture is that it teaches people to live from the outside in. It teaches people to think, how is this going to look? Rather than, how does this feel? It teaches people, will people approve? Instead of, is this aligned? And living this way teaches people to be disconnected from their own intuition and to hearing their own desires, which is the exact opposite way of how you live a life that actually feels fulfilling, right? The way that you create a genuinely fulfilling life is by living it in alignment with the truth of who you are. When you're living life your own way, regardless of what anyone else thinks about it. And I promise you, you're not going to look back on your life and regret feeling embarrassed. You're going to regret the things that you wish you would have done. You regret abandoning yourself. You're not going to look back and think, oh, I really regret the fact that I went after my dreams or that I allowed myself to live fully as me. I can guarantee you, you're not going to regret that. But you are going to regret allowing the fear of embarrassment to control your life and to dim you down and to keep you small and to keep you from living the life that you want to live. Your life gets bigger when your fear of embarrassment gets smaller. And in the long run, the fear of embarrassment isn't going to harm you, but abandoning or avoiding your life will. And so I encourage you to start allowing yourself to feel embarrassed. You're going to set yourself free. And when you do feel embarrassed by things, don't beat yourself up over it. Speak to yourself with kindness. It's okay if you embarrass yourself, everyone does. And before we end this episode, I just want to let you know about Self, my monthly membership. It's a space where I support my women in reconnecting with themselves so that they can build a life that they genuinely love. It's a space where they get to create themselves in their lives and become the absolute best versions of themselves. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, I'll leave the link in the description below. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you found it helpful. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe. It's free to do and it helps me continue creating free content. I'm sending you all so much love. I hope you have the best week and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.